What it do, what it do, what it do. I am ArD Tone. I am back with another reaction. Today, we got Could Jotaro Kujo survive One Piece? No. I'm already said right now. And it's not me being, biased to One Piece. I love One Piece. Oh, today I die. Love it, love it, love it. But also, I love JoJo. I mean, not JoJo. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. My mistake. But truthfully, I'm just trying to see with his scaling. I mean, he good, but he getting blitzed by somebody eventually. He can beat the scrubs, the buggies, the Kuros, the Arlong, the bums that was in the beginning. But I mean, let's be real. He ain't beating that boy. You know who it is. But yeah, man. We back with that nerdy shit. Let's get to it.
Kujo is one of the most powerful stand users of all time, a true top tier in the franchise of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but what if he was to take on the world of One Piece? How far would he get? And would it be further than where I am? Because I'm currently stuck in Fishman Island, so I kind of hope not.
What?
Trust me, it's that type of arc. I've also been reading Tower of God on the side, though. But how are we going to approach this, all right? Well, considering that Luffy is the main character and he fights the main antagonist himself most of
Damn, he ain't even that far yet. He on Fishman Island. He just got to the next half of the saga. Oh my, come on, Caleb. Step your shit up. Come on now. We over here. Well, what am I? I'm in Egghead right now? Shit, come on now.
the time. The best thing to do would to be have Jotaro follow through the Luffy journey and see who he can beat in it. Well, how strong is Jotaro? Well, for those unfamiliar with Jotaro's strengths and with the help of his stand Star Platinum, here's what he's capable of. Super precision, massively faster than lightspeed combat, super strength with city level to large mountain level attack potency, super eyesight, breath, and durability. It's low-key a Superman type of deal, like a lower key Superman without all the lasers and the ice breath and all that. He's a strong guy, but he can actually stop time for up to 5 seconds, so that's pretty good. Alongside that, stands are on a different plane of existence entirely, so they can do things like phase through matter while also being capable of affecting it. And alongside that, only stand users are the ones that can see stands, unless there are some other stand exceptions that do exist on our physical plane. But that's aside from the point. This is Star Platinum. It begins in the Romance Dawn arc. Luffy faces a Sea King and Alvida. Now,
Yeah, he
I don't
watching
think
that.
we
No
can
cap, he
scale
watching
this
that.
Sea King considering it doesn't do much. Extremely possible that, this is the one that took Shanks' arm. It looks the exact same. And Luffy one-shots it. Romance Dawn Luffy stronger than Shanks? Now, jokes aside, Alvida has characters that are most likely close to her in her level of strength, but they have better devil fruits, like, for example, Buggy. What's extremely interesting is that Luffy goes on to take Alvida out relatively quick, so even the main character isn't trying that hard here at all. Jotaro in these fights, it goes fairly easy. It can't take much considering that these two don't have the speed to match Jotaro at all, or a lot of characters in general don't, but he most likely destroys the whole ship without much effort at all put, effectively putting an end to the Alvida pirates. Now we're next on into Orange Town, going against one of the greatest characters.
Boy, he bushing. I mean, no. He cooking Buggy too. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. He cooking him like he cooking majority of the people Luffy did fight in the beginning. They was all bums. Like he ain't really start getting challenged until I want to say Crocodile. That's when he really had a challenge. Like other than that, I mean Jotaro is washing him with good majority of the beginning. But let's talk about later. Let's just continue.
Characters to ever happen to this franchise. Buggy the Clown. Now, Buggy's main ability comes from his devil fruit, the Bara Bara no Mi, or the Chop Chop fruit. This Paramecia devil fruit allows Buggy to split his body into pieces and reassemble them at will. This makes him immune to slashing attacks. The good thing is that Jotaro doesn't have to worry about that, and is instead he's just gonna brute force his way through this battle, because Jotaro should blitz here as his speed is more than enough. And I think that Jotaro had been maybe a character with similar speed to Buggy, then Buggy be able to separate himself and dodge any sort of attack that Jotaro would have to offer, but unfortunately that isn't the case here. Now we're on to Syrup Village against the not very famous Captain Kuro. Now, what made him a formidable opponent
I wish they
in
bring
this
him back.
time was the fact that he was an extremely fast pirate, and Luffy had been able to beat him with his perception due to most likely early onset observation hockey, but Jotaro won't need it as he's just largely faster than Kuro altogether. Very low difficulty. In Baratier, Luffy fights Don Krieg. Now Zoro also fights Mihawk,
Watching him
but
too.
we won't be worrying about Mihawk for right now. That's Zoro's battle. Don Krieg will be the focus for the next minute. Don Krieg is not really a threat here, and as far as I am in terms of caught up, I also haven't seen him in forever. He's supposed to be supposedly this weapons master, and for the most part, I think he's a surprising character to fight against in the merit that he's capable of a lot and has a fairly varied artillery, but aside from that, he's not much of a threat. He can't defend himself that well. Jotaro should be able to no-diff him fairly easy. In Arlong Park, Arlong is essentially...
He cooking this bum, man. I ain't gonna lie. Fuck Arlong. Man, please. Everybody whooping his ass.
a comparably better Dark Blue Moon for those that are mainly JoJo people beforehand. He's capable of superhuman physical characteristics, and while he is a skilled swordsman, you'll also see him working with his teeth, nose, and even water manipulated projectiles. Now, while on paper he looks fairly capable, Jotaro is going to also no-diff this character. Now, you notice a trend here. This area of One Piece being the East Blue, it's fairly easy to beat a lot of these characters considering that they're just casually strong with not much to them. It isn't until we get over to the opponent,
Yeah, aka they ass bums. I get it.
with the truly terrifying devil fruits, where I have to completely reevaluate how easy it's all been. And in terms of strength, you realistically have to consider it that this is most likely around like close to that Thriller Bark Sabaody area, going all the way back to the East Blue. Of course, he's going to no-diff a lot of these characters, you know. Next up is Logtown, and this is where Luffy actually loses to Smoker, but is saved by Dragon. Smoker's devil fruit is the Moku Moku no Mi, or known as the Plume Plume fruit, depending on who you're asking. This fruit is a Logia fruit, meaning that it allows the user to transform their body into an element of nature at will, and be able to create and control said nature. His fruit allows him to generate, manipulate, and become smoke. And while Jotaro can't swing on him normally, there are 3 exceptions here, right? Speed, again, obviously, time stop, and Star Platinum's lung capacity. Firstly, speed. Now, Smoker can choose to turn his body into smoke, but there's a level of acknowledgement that comes with it. Logia users usually develop the ability to change on reflex. The combination of that, plus something like good observation hockey, allows them to see something coming and dodge it however they need to. With this in mind, considering that Smoker can't see Star Platinum coming and isn't anywhere near as fast as he needs to be, he should be able to win this fight. In addition to that, Smoker probably isn't the best Logia user to have over here, considering that Star Platinum can just massively heal whatever areas of Smoker's body that he wants to change. The last thing is time stop, because being caught off guard is one thing, but completely removing the ability for them to react or do anything, it's gonna get them smacked up completely. No dragon required. Smoker is defeated. After this arc is Whiskey Peak.
Okay, I agree. I feel like that's his biggest advantage is time stop. I mean, it just really something that's unexpected. So, I agree.
This arc doesn't exactly have the most recognizable antagonist, as it's a fairly early part with characters who are a part of some sort of important organization here. Baroque works, but not really in the grand scheme of it all. Regardless, Luffy accidentally beats Mr. Five here, but I'm not sure what we're supposed to consider the big fight because if we're being honest, the true fight was Luffy versus Zoro, but that didn't really conclude. It had Nami win, if anything, but we can go over it though. We can have that be the thing. Zoro versus Jotaro. And Zoro usually beats his opponent with his immense strength, speed, and sword.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why would he throw Zoro in this? Come on now. We know Zoro beating that ass. Probably not this one, but come on. We talking about times. Come on now.
Training, but he doesn't have any of the facilities to truly help himself against a character like this. This goes the same for the next couple of arcs for the sake of time and getting to the more powerful antagonists, Whiskey Peak, Little Garden, Drum Island all become a lot shorter. Jotaro's not dealing with Wapple or the other Baroque Works members. Like, that's not really on the table here. Let's move on and keep it going. Finally, we're in Alabasta. Now, here's the thing, right? Because of Jotaro's speed,
man, Alabasta, the arc that fucking dragged, that motherfucker kept going in circles. Oh my god, can we get this shit over with already?
It'll be easy to work with, but in a scenario where we're not catching Crocodile off guard and fighting him as is, this is extremely interesting. Because in Stardust Crusaders, for example, Jotaro can beat a sand user like Iggy in his stand, the Fool, but he'd most likely do that by just beating Iggy directly. That's usually how you go about it. And I think that Logia as a concept, depending on which element that you get, is extremely powerful depending on the matchups you have. Because while I think a stand user like Josuke Higashikata could approach this fairly easy considering his restoration ability and he can meld people into all types of things, Jotaro has brute force and time stop. If it weren't for time stop and Jotaro's speed, this fight goes a lot differently. And honestly speaking, like, that's just how it goes with Logia users against other characters in fiction. Because, for example, let's say that Crocodile and Jotaro are the same speed. And this is the same Jotaro before he achieved his ability to stop time, right? Right before the Dio fight. Because not only can he make his body sand, he has the ability to absorb all the moisture out of any object, living or not living, I understand that Luffy beat him. I still don't understand that. I thought that was really dumb. But we'll put that to the side for now.
No, it wasn't. I mean, he used, like, moisture. That's how he whooped that ass. Even though this was probably the toughest fight Luffy really had. Man, Crocodile was whooping his ass, man. I promise you. I was on the edge of my seat from time. I'm like, damn, how could he beat him? Shit. That's what I kept thinking back then.
Because, my opinions are something completely different to this. We're just trying to be more as straight up as possible. Jotaro beats Crocodile as is, but there is compromise to be found. And I think that when we get even further with those other Logia users, it's very possible that speed and time stop won't be enough considering that they're extremely durable anyways. After Alabasta, we have Jaya, and then there's
Boy, he cooking
Bellamy.
him. You know, he cooking
Now,
Bellamy a
gets hit
bum.
with a combination of
I like him
hands and
like,
observation hockey.
after the time scale fucked with
Observation
him, but
hockey
he a bum.
is definitely
He a
capable
bum
of telling
here.
One Piece characters about normally fast hits, so they're capable of doing whatever they need to by dodging it, or at least dodging it whatever way they need to, like Logia users. But there's a certain ballpark of speed that both of the characters have to be in to see something coming, I'd say. For example, Luffy having observation hockey right now doesn't mean that he'd be able to protect himself from Jotaro's hits. Why? Because he's nowhere close enough for that to be the case. We see characters in future arcs like Rob Lucci and how fast he can get. And the closer that Luffy is to him in aspects of physicality, the closer he is on being able to perceive and dodge hits that he normally wouldn't be able to deal with if he was at the level he was somewhere in Jaya here. There's a lot of nuance with this power system. Haki brings up an entire thing altogether, and observation specifically. So it's nothing that I'd write off completely. Be sure to remember that when you're talking about One Piece verses and all that. And after Jaya, we're in Skypiea, shooting high and going straight for Enil. Enil has the Goro Goro no Mi, translating to the Rumble Rumble fruit. Now, this fruit is not just some whack League of Legends character. It is a Logia devil fruit that allows the user to create, control, and become lightning at will. I understand that it's Rumble Rumble, thunder and lightning are not the same thing, but that's aside from the point. Now, Enil at this point was a large feat considering what he was capable of, but when it came down to it, Luffy did pretty well with his attack potency at the time. Luffy and Enil are both.
I feel like that was when Luffy fought him. That was like the funniest shit ever because it was really like it was a bad matchup for this boy. He was just in complete awe that that shit did not work. It was like because Luffy was rubber, it really did no damage, so he had to more so focus on puncturing my boy.
Around small city level from other scaling. I haven't done my own scaling of One Piece. I'm just using others for the time being. But I'd say that it's possible to get more from this. In terms of straight stats, this is another Jotaro diff if we're leaning into his city level to mound level terms of strength. But we're beginning to run out of One Piece characters that fit this mold. So yes, Jotaro is most likely capable of blitzing Enil currently, but equalizing the speed and or Enil returning in, like, let's say later areas of One Piece could change the entire scope of this battle. Because even against an electricity user in JoJo, Red Hot Chili Pepper, Jotaro utilizing his time stop and speed would be more than enough to clear that character. And even Red Hot Chili Pepper goes on to say this, that, yeah, I'm not fighting you because you can stop time. If Enil was relative in speed, this would be concerning. Jotaro is fairly smart, but in a battle against Enil and of the same speed, I think this is the same case against Crocodile, where since he doesn't have Haki, he wouldn't be able to actually make contact, but being able to stop time will be enough for a lot of these matchups, even if he wasn't of the same speed. Because Logia is a powerful mechanic, but the ability to manipulate time will usually scale above anything else that Logia has to offer. TLDR, Jotaro moves on into the next arc. Moving on into... Oh my god.
Come on, we know where you're going. A complete wash. This bum-ass nigga. Foxy. Come on.
Long ring, long land.
Hey, don't tweet. Hey, what's crazy I'm going to say? This was probably one of my... favorite... It was like a low-key favorite side arc. Long ring, long island. I just enjoyed just sitting back and just watching them do this. Don't like him, though. He was very lame. Fucking lame. But I just enjoyed the little, was it the Davy back fight? That shit was fucking, it was just good. I don't know why. I enjoyed the shit.
After Skypiea, we're met with Long Ring, Long Land Island, and this isn't exactly a fight. We can blow through this fairly easy. With all of Star Platinum's assets, this cheating scandal gets cleared up fairly easy. Foxy is just,
really,
it's stupid. Let's move on to the next one. It's not important. But finally, we are in Water 7. Yeah.
When they get
comparable attack potency and durability. This means while Jotaro and Star Platinum are fast, we're going to have to think about this some more. The first fight in Water 7 where Luffy gets involved in is against Frankie. So what's the move here? Well, for those unfamiliar, Frankie is at least a mechanical god amongst men. After getting hit with a super-powered water train that he helped build, he took it upon himself to repair his body with just scraps alone. But where they differ here is an issue. Jotaro essentially has this invisible barrier with the help of Star Platinum, and for whatever trick that Frankie has and is capable of, Star Platinum will be able to react to prevent such a bad situation. I think that Luffy versus Frankie worked for that time because, Luffy didn't have the foresight capable of predicting half of what Frankie could do. He was also extremely strong at that time. I don't think Jotaro has that foresight either, considering how different Frankie is as a character from a lot of the characters he's ever met. But that's not the thing that'll stop Jotaro here. I think the combination of Star Platinum's precision...
I mean, realistically, this Frankie back then was... He was kind of a bum, so, he was strong, but I like time skip Frankie. He's more, versatile now.
And the fact that Frankie's back is exposed and is not like the rest of his body, that'll probably be what would be the deciding factor. I want to say I think a future version of Frankie can not only survive but most likely finish the job. It's just that this one it's not happening.
Nah, that's
But
the bum one.
you know, honestly, I got fairly far in One Piece. I'm not really that far at all, actually. But
Yeah.
Frankie hasn't really done much in general. I feel like that's like a completely different dialogue to have in a different video to have altogether. But it's kind of weird. I feel like this character was introduced just for Water 7, and I don't know. That's a whole different thing. Let's get back into the video. And now we're here, Annie's lobby.
Whew.
Now,
Good
as a
arc. Good
franchise,
arc.
I'd say that Jotaro got pretty far. I think certain matchups would work better for Josuke as he has a more adaptable power to work with, but Time Stop is definitely doing its job here and saving him from a lot. Now, everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Rob Lucci, or so I call him, you know, because we're on a first name basis. Robert Luciano. That's not his name at all. It's not. It's not his name. It's not his name. But I feel like it makes sense. Anyways, here's everything he's capable of at his current state, right? Rob Lucci, known as
Okay, he watching Rob Lucci too. Rob Lucci was whew. He was a little threat in this arc, but we talking about this overpowered ass Jotaro. Easy.
as a leopard, stands as a formidable foe with an impressive reputation in the One Piece universe. As a member of CP9, one of the most secretive and elite intelligence agencies of the world government, Lucci excels in covert operations and is an exceptionally skilled fighter. His capabilities are immensely enhanced by the Neko Neko no Mi model leopard. This zone type devil fruit grants him the ability to morph into a leopard
That's a
or a
hey,
hybrid.
okay. One thing I will say, he does have a clean devil fruit. That fucking the Zoan leopard model, love it. And then when I saw it in the manga recently, ooh, yes, I don't know, that shit is clean.
Leopard human form and considerably boost his physical strength and prowess. Lucci is proficient at Rokushiki, an extraordinary superhuman martial art form exclusive to CP9. This style encompasses 6 techniques, right? There's Soru, enables teleportation like speed, at least in the context of this verse. It's a speed buff. Tekai fortifies the body to an iron-like density. It's a good set of defense. Rankyaku is a projectile created by kicking with high speed and strength. The projectile itself is a sharp, compressed blade of wind, and it cuts through most. Geppo allows the user to push themselves off of the air itself
Skywalk.
with superhumanly strong kicks, allowing them to travel through and remain in midair for an extended period of time. It's double jumping. You're able to double jump. That's what the ability is. It's double jumping. And then there's Shigan. It's a close quarters combat technique where the user uses
Drop
their
the finger,
finger
my boy. That
to
shit
pierce
crazy.
the target's flesh at a very high speed like a bullet. And Kami E allows the user to relax their body and make it take on characteristics of a piece of paper. This grants the user extraordinary flexibility that allows them to avoid any attacks. Now, even if their durability is similar, Rob Lucci is legitimately built for this. It has stamina that allow him to fight damn near all day. And I'm being hyperbolic, of course. But you have to understand the scope for this is ridiculous. It's like if Killua grew up and became a leopard man. Jotaro has speed and time stop, but even for then, I don't think that the attacks he's currently capable of is going to be truly enough to harm Lucci, at least off the top of my head. But some people might like to mention that Star Platinum is capable of phasing, which, trust me, I know, I very much know, I've seen JoJo. It's just that in character, Jotaro has never offensively used this phasing ability like that. He hasn't been able to, considering that it's stand user versus stand user, but I'm more inclined to believe that he just won't do it, especially considering I've just never seen him do it. Now, here's the thing, though. Even with me bigging ups on Rob Lucci here, let's keep in mind that some of these Rokushiki options, they have certain drawbacks, or, well, certain things that have some explanation to be had. Regardless of Soru, he's not faster than Jotaro. Tekai is good, but you can't do anything while you're using it. Rankyaku is never going to make contact as a projectile because it's just not fast enough. Geppo is good, but I'm not really sure what we can do about it. It's just like a good thing to have. Everyone loves double jumping. Shigan is not making contact, and Kami is the worst case scenario because this will give Jotaro a key opportunity to punch right through him if he actually wants to take that on. I'm not sure how to approach this aside from the fact that these characters go neutral at worst for Jotaro, or it's just a really close win for him. I feel like there's more to be said, but at least going about it on a head-to-head, I think that's where I'm standing with it. I'm skipping Thriller Bark here. I don't want to go through editing this and seeing all this again.
Yeah, he dogging Moria. That nigga was trash. Another one that was just like this fruit, but trash.
I don't like this arc. Lowballed Jotaro loses, highballed Jotaro wins. Okay, I'm not interested in Gecko Mori at all. In Absalom can go to hell. Now. Everyone, Jotaro fans, Metas included, Jobber included, everyone.
Him against Kuma. Ooh, I'm gonna hear what Kayla got to say. That shit. Ugh. I think Jotaro could still win, but man, this boy Kuma ain't nothing to fuck with.
I'd say that this is where we lose. I wouldn't be upset, okay? Because all of the Straw Hats lost here too. And it's one of my favorite arcs because of it. Sabaody Archipelago arc. Kuma, Kizaru, either or. We can go about this however needed. It's ridiculous. With Kuma, he can guaranteed send Jotaro away, effectively ending the fight. Kuma has the Nikyu no Mi, also known as the Pawpaw fruit. It's a paramecia type devil fruit that allows Kuma to repel anything with his paw hands. This includes physical objects, air pressure, creating devastating shockwaves, and even abstract concepts like pain and fatigue. He can send people flying for days to faraway places with precision. If Kuma genuinely believes that he has to fight Jotaro, I think he'd be able to power through most of the hits. Alongside that, he doesn't have to try to break through Star Platinum's defense. He can just send shockwaves towards Jotaro and keep him on edge. I also haven't seen anyone address the possibility of Kuma removing his own pain and fatigue and doing something like just trying to send it towards Jotaro, throwing it like a projectile or something like that. And it's not just the whole thing, just even sections of it, just pieces of it, because he only has to get like one or so in to help him out, and he's already largely durable. He's going to survive whatever Jotaro has to offer here, but it's wild. Because honestly speaking, it has to stop here with Kuma or Borsalino. Neither characters are faster than Jotaro at this moment, true. But they are now of a strength caliber that Jotaro scaling has just not reached unless we're really sitting on the highball areas. I like to be safe, but if we're playing it safe, that's just how it works here, And I've seen what it looks like when you don't have the attack potency or durability to match these characters in the franchise. It looks like nothing. You're basically doing nothing to them at all. It really doesn't matter what Jotaro can try to do because both Kizaru and Kuma can just exist.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I feel like it'd still be a good fight, but honestly, it's iffy. It's kind of 50-50, yeah, because even Kizaru, that boy was a threat. He was taking out all the supernovas like that. Like, it wasn't shit, truthfully.
And try to figure out how to attack Jotaro as he can't do anything to truly damage them. Adding on, for the help, Kizaru has the Pika Pika no Mi, known as the Glint Glint fruit.
Hey, don't fuck with him. Hey, that boy, big threat, big fucking threat.
Personally, I would have just said Light fruit, but I get the redundancy. The Pika Pika no Mi allows the user to create, control, and transform into light at will. He also has great observation haki, which would help him perceive imminent attacks from Jotaro. And since Star Platinum is massively faster than light, and Borsellino is just faster than light.
Hey,
The
shout out my nigga Rayleigh. That boy, big savage.
observation hockey has a better ballpark to work against someone like Jotaro. For an idea of why this gets unreasonable, island level for Kuma? Question mark. And a potential, not even potential, if we're being realistic, it's how it is. Continent level for Kizaru. In just this one arc, these two characters. There's nothing seen like in any of the other arcs. There's a reason why the Straw Hats get completely washed here. It's because they're just not capable of fighting. They literally went on a 2-year time skip to help them get stronger. And even after the 2-year time skip, they probably still couldn't fight any of the people that we just mentioned. I don't think that time stop and speed is going to be enough to genuinely win the battle here. This is where Jotaro's journey ends. But you know, if it was like Kiryu Shikage, he would just blow everyone up like just explosions. But yeah, I think for the most part, if this had to have been a more adaptable stand, it's very possible that they can get a bit further past this point. I also feel like Ultimate Cars would do an amazing job within the franchise. Oh man, just all types of what that character is capable of. That's a strong character. But as aside from the point, this video is about Jotaro. But thank you all for watching. One Piece is extremely long, and so is this video, probably. I think so. Since I don't see many Versus stuff about One Piece, I'm open to whatever suggestions people have, and I would like to talk about them. Whatever people want to go about, I'll try. You know? Hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace out, and Godspeed.
All right. That was real good. Truthfully, I really want to see him talk about Katakuri. I really wanted to go deep into it. Katakuri, Kaido. Not gonna lie. Nah, he wouldn't beat Katakuri or Kaido. Who else did Luffy fight? Cracker. He could probably beat Cracker. Cracker really ain't all that. Ooh, I'm trying to think. Who else? Hoodie Jones, washed. But yeah, that was good. Like I said, I know Jotaro's strong, but it's just, yeah, it gets to a certain part, like, he probably be pretty normal. Let's say he go to, like, the next saga, you know, where shit getting really, really real. All that time stop and being a brute musclehead nigga. Shit ain't gonna work, but man, hey, good video. Shout out Caleb, man. Y'all have a good one.